guys, we are back with another song by Eminem, right?
Yes.
What song is it?
So we're doing The Ringer, which is the first track off of Kamikaze.
Okay, so we're going into an album now.
Yes. So this album came out in 2018. It was after a revival, and a lot of the content on the album is addressing like the backlash and the controversy and the criticisms he got.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like a surprise release. Like there was no like album rollout. He just like dropped it.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a good album. This song in particular is very good in my opinion.
Really? Do you play it a lot?
I think sometimes I know there's a specific line at the end that I've played for you.
Yeah, because I'm not recognizing it by name.
Yeah, so we'll see.
All I can think of is the Johnny Knoxville movie.
Yeah, so I don't know if there might be a slight reference to that, you know,
Uh-huh.
maybe. So
Okay.
interesting.
We
Yes.
shall see.
Yes, and we are sponsored by Manscaped. I recently got the Performance Package 4.0, which comes with the Lawnmower 4.0. And as I always mention, my favorite part about this is that there's a light so you could see what you're doing when you're using the buzzer. It also has a ceramic blade and it's waterproof. All that will help reduce ingrown hairs and nicks. You could use in the shower. It's definitely incredible. It also comes with these attachments so you could adjust, what length hair you want. A
There you
separate,
go.
yes, separate ear and nose hair trimmer. And also, it comes with Crop Reviver and Crop Preserver, also known as ball deodorant and ball toner, which is very cool. And you get a travel case to carry it all in, and the boxer briefs, which I love.
Which he still has yet to show.
No, not yet. But as I mentioned in every video, I've been using buzzers forever, and this is by far the best.
Yeah.
And you can get 20% off with free shipping with the code WITHSMITH at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code WITHSMITH. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
And we are also sponsored by Carnivore Snacks. Carnivore Snacks is one of my absolute favorite meat snacks. This is literally like eating a meat potato chip. It's absolutely delicious and amazing and addicting, and it's only grass-fed. There's usually only like 2 ingredients, maybe a couple more if it's a mixed meat flavor. So very minimal. It's great and insanely delicious if I didn't already say that. And you can use our coupon code WITHSMITH, the same coupon code, for 15% off your order. The link is in the description below. Also, you can check out our other favorite meat snack, which is Chomps. It's my absolute favorite beef jerky ever. It's also minimal ingredients, grass-fed, 90 calories. You can understand all the ingredients in here. Like, it's great. Definitely recommend it. It's super soft, super moist, absolutely delicious. And you can use our coupon code WITHSMITH, the same one, for 10% off your order and an additional 10% off subscriptions. And while you're at it, you can also use this same coupon code for everything. And SeatGeek, if you're in the market for concert tickets, sporting event tickets, what have you, SeatGeek's got it. We actually used SeatGeek before we were sponsored by them. It was a great experience. I would 110% do it again if I were going to see anything, which I'm not because I'm like a hermit. But if you are, you can use our coupon code WITHSMITH for $20 off your very first purchase. And the link is in the description below for that. Check out our Amazon storefront. That's also in the link in the description below. And follow us on social media channels if you want to. That's it.
All right, here we go. The Ringer.
Ringer.
Yeah. I'm just gonna write down my first thoughts, see where this takes me. Cause I feel like I wanna punch the world in the fucking face right now. Yeah. Let me explain just how to make greatness. Straight out the gate, I'm about to break it down. Ain't no mistakes allowed, but make no mistake, I'm about to rape the alphabet. I may raise some brows if I press the issue just to get the anger out. Full magazine could take staples out. Savage, but ain't thinking about no bank account. But bitch, I'm off the chain like Taylor Brown. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up when I'm talking low, bitch. I'm sorry, wait, what's your talent? Oh, critiquing my talent. Oh, bitch, I don't know who the fuck y'all are to give a subpar bar, even have an opinion of you. You mention me, millions of views, attention and news. I mention you, lose for me, win for you. Billions of views, your 10 cents or two. Skim through the music to give shit reviews, to get clicks, but bitch, you just lit the fuse. Don't get misconstrued, business is huge, shit list renewed. So get shit to do, or get dissed, cause I just don't get what the fuck half the shit is that you're listening to. Do you have any idea how much I hate this choppy flow? Everyone copies, they'll probably know. Get this fucking audio out my audios. I can see why people like Little Yachty, but not me though. Not even dissing, it just ain't for me. All I am simply is just an MC. Maybe Stan just isn't your cup of tea. Maybe your cup's full of syrup and lean. Maybe I need to stir up shit, preferably shake the world up if it were up to me. Paul wants me to chill, y'all want me to ill. I should eat a pill, probably I will. Owe me, kill the new me, watch him bleed to death. I breathe on a mirror, I don't see my breath. Possibly I'm dead, I must be possessed like an evil spell. I'm EVIL.
There's no chorus, so I have to figure out where to pause this, and that was a decent place.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So you said you remember this?
Yeah, you play this sometimes.
Yeah, I like this song. It's very good. So he just comes in. So he says, yeah, so the Illa, so that's the producer. He made the beat. It's called like Illa, the producer is his
Okay.
name. So yeah, he's the guy that made it. Eminem comes in, just talking, little intro saying, yeah, I'm just going to write down my first thoughts and see where this takes me because I feel like I want to punch the world in the fucking face right now. Yeah.
Because everyone shit all over his last album.
Yes. Yes. So he has a lot to say.
That's fair.
So then he comes in, first verse, he says, let me explain just how to make greatness. Straight out the gate, I'm about to break it down. Ain't no mistakes allowed, but make no mistake, I'm about to rape the alphabet. I may raise some brows. If I press the issue just to get the anger out, full magazine could take staples out.
So that's like pretty self-explanatory, but then full magazine can take staples out, like how magazines are stapled in the middle.
Yeah, so there's a double entendre there. So yeah, he's the first part, like you said, it's pretty straightforward what he's
I was talking
saying.
about like the Staples Center.
No, so Vince Staples is a rapper who, when Eminem did his BET cipher, he got a lot of controversy. People were like, "Oh, it was corny." It was the one where he was talking about Trump. I think we watched it live actually
Yeah, we
back
did.
when it happened. So Vince Staples made a comment about like the lines being corny. So it's a little shot at him, right?
Okay.
But yeah, so staples are in a magazine, it's how it's held together. And then there's a little scheme there where he says, if I press the issue just to get the anger out. So like issue, magazine, you know what I mean?
It could also be maybe a triple entendre because I mean, a full magazine could take out, like, if there's a concert or an event going on at the Staples Center,
True.
you could take a lot of people out. If
Yeah.
you're going to talk about, like, the shooter,
Yeah, for sure.
it's kind of like a triple entendre.
Could be. And then he says, savage, but ain't thinking about no bank account. So 21 Savage had the song Bank Account. To play on that.
Okay.
And he says, but bitch, I'm off the chain like Kayla Brown. She was a girl that was like kidnapped and like being held prisoner, and then she got away and
Oh,
stuff. I don't know
I
if you
didn't.
remember her. So yeah, it was around this time that
Okay.
she got away or whatever.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And then he says, motherfucker, shut the fuck up when I'm talking, little bitch. I'm sorry. Wait, what's your talent? Oh, critiquing my talent.
So funny.
So a lot of people think he's talking about like Joe Budden because Joe Budden had a podcast. He critiqued Revival, but specifically like everybody in like the media and
Like
stuff that
YouTube.
was so not so much them. Although I mean he mentions them and stuff. It's more like the critics and stuff. But yeah, I guess some people that were shitting on him. So yeah, he says, "Oh, what's your talent critiquing my talent?" And then he says, "Oh, bitch, I don't know who the fuck y'all are to give a subpar bar or even have an opinion of you. You mention me, millions of views, attention and news. I mention you, lose-lose for me, win-win for you, billions of views, your 10 cents are two."
Hmm.
So he's saying, who are you people to critique me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're not. Like if you can't do it like I can, how can you have an opinion on what I do?
Yes. And then literally what he says, if people mention him, they get, they win, they get the attention, the clicks, the money. If he
Yeah.
mentions them, and then billions of views, your 10 cents or two. I guess he's saying like your 10 cents are like worth 2 cents. It's not like, you know what I mean? It means nothing. It's not
Yeah.
valuable. Then he says, skim through the music to give shit reviews, to get clicks, but bitch, you just lit the fuse. Don't get misconstrued. Business as usual. Shit list renewed. So get shit to do or get dissed because I just don't get. So, I mean, this is straightforward. He's still like shitting on people that are like using his name for clickbait to talk shit about him and,
Yeah.
get views and everything. He said, because I just don't get what the fuck half the shit is that you're listening to. And then he changes his flow here. He says, do you have any idea how much I hate this choppy flow? Everyone copied though. Probably no. Get this fucking audio out my audio. Adios.
I kind of like that though. It sounded really cool.
It does, but
It does.
it's
I was like, ooh, that's nice.
so yeah, I mean he's copying like the modern, the people that are rapping like that, and then everybody starts rapping like that, you know what I mean?
No, what sounded nice was when he goes, everyone copies, so probably get this fucking audio out
Yeah,
my
he's
yo. Like when he says that part, it like all just flows into one another.
well,
So
yeah,
it was cool.
that is the flow that he's critiquing, you know what I
I
mean?
like
That
that.
everybody's copying it though. That's his point. Everybody does that,
It
especially around this time.
sounds cool.
And then he does the audio out my audio. So he says Audi, like Audi to make it rhyme.
Oh, isn't that how you're supposed to say it actually?
I always said Audi.
Well, I mean, that's how we say it here, but I think it's actually supposed to be said like that.
Maybe. So then audio, Audi, yo, adios. So it's a cool thing.
Mm.
And then he says, I can see why people like Lil Yachty, but not me though. Not
So is he saying he can see why people like Lil Yachty but don't like him? Or he can see why people like Lil Yachty but he doesn't like
he
Lil
doesn't like
Yachty?
Lil Yachty.
Okay.
And then he says, not even dissing, it just ain't for me. All I am simply is just an MC. Maybe Stan just isn't your cup of tea.
So there. Like, then he goes, get it? No, I don't get it.
My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now I
from the
get it.
chorus. So he said, maybe Stan just isn't your cup of tea. Maybe your cup's full of syrup and lean. Maybe I need to stir up shit, preferably, is how he says it. So yes, you might like Lil Yachty. He doesn't. Maybe the people that like him don't like Stan. It's not their cup of tea, which the play on the lines from the chorus.
Yeah, because I got stuck on that line longer than I should have. I was like, what? I was still thinking about that when we got like minutes later.
Yeah. And then he says, maybe your cup's full of syrup and lean. So he goes a cup of tea and then goes back to the cup. And then he has syrup and lean, which is, all the rappers were doing. And then he says, maybe I need to stir up shit, preferably. I forget how he says it. But so the stir up kind of goes with the cup of syrup and lean. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like to
like
stir.
rhymes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then he says, shake the world up if it were up to me. So shake is kind of another thing with stir.
Yeah.
Then he says, Paul wants me to chill. Y'all want me to ill. I should eat a pill. Probably I will.
Mm.
Old me killed the new me. Watch him bleed to death. I breathe on the mirror. I don't see my breath. Possibly I'm dead. I must be possessed. Like an evil spell. I'm EVIL. I love that part.
Yeah, it sounds really good. It's good.
So
It's
yeah,
good.
he's saying Paul is like just telling Eminem to chill, and he's like,
Because that's his lawyer or whatever.
yeah, the manager or lawyer, yeah. And he's like, fuck that, my fans want me to go crazy, and
Yeah.
I'm about to. But I like the scheme where he says the old me killed the new me, watch him bleed to death, right? And then I breathe on the mirror, I don't see my breath, as if he's dead.
And then he's saying I should eat a pill, probably I will. Like that's something the old Tim would do.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he's like in sobriety now. Like he wouldn't do that.
Yes, and then he says, I must be possessed like an evil spell. I'm EVIL. So he literally is spelling the word evil.
Yeah.
So evil spell. All right, and that's actually where we left off. So we're going to pick it up.
Possessed like an evil spell. I'm EVIL. Gemma crest white strip in the tip of my dick with an ice pick sticking in a vice grip. Hang it on a spike fence, bang it with a pipe wrench. While I take my ball sack and flick it like a light switch. Let Vice President Mike Pence back up on my shit in a sidekick as I lay it on a spike strip. These are things that I'd rather do than hear you on a mic since 9/10 of your rhyme is about icing. Jesus Christ, man, how many times is someone gonna fuck on my bitch? Fuck my side You won't ever see MIC, but as cold as I get on the MIC, I polarize shit so the Thames might freeze and your skull might split like I passed you upside it. Bitch, I got the club on smash like a nightstick. Yeah. Turn down for what? I ain't loud enough. Nah, turn the volume up, cause I don't know how I'm gonna get your mouth to shut now when it doesn't matter what caliber I spit at. I'll bet $100,000 you'll turn around and just be like, man, how the fuck's Sourpuss gonna get mad just cause his album sucks and now he wants to take it out on us? But last week, an ex-fan mailed me a copy of the math that's LP to tell me to study. It'll help me get back to myself and she'll love me. I mailed the bitch back and said if I did that, I'd just be like everyone else in the fucking industry, especially an effing recovery clone of me. So, finger bang, chicken wang, PGK, Igaze, low pump, low Xan, imitate Lil Wayne. I should aim at everybody in the game, pick a name. I'm fed up with being humble, and rumor is I'm hungry. I'm sure you heard rumblings, I heard you wanna rumble. Like an empty stomach, I heard you mumbling, but it's jumbled and mumble jumbo. The era that I'm from will pummel you, that's what it's coming to. What the fuck you gonna do when you run into it? I'm gonna crumble you, and I'll take a number 2 and dump on you if you ain't joiner. If you ain't Kendrick or Cole or Sean, then you're a goner. I'm about to bring it to anyone in this bitch you want it. I guess when you walk into BK, you expect a Whopper. You can order a quarter pounder when you go to McDonald's, but if you're looking to get a porterhouse, you better go get revival. But y'all acting like I tried to serve you up a slider. Maybe the vocal should have been auto-tuning, you would have bought it. But saying I no longer got it cause you missed the line and never caught it, cause it went over your head because you're too stupid to get it, cause you're mentally retarded but pretend to be the smartest with your expertise and knowledge, but you'll never be an artist. And I'm harder on myself than you could ever be. Regardless, what I'll never be is flawless. All I ever be is honest, even when I'm gonna say I brought it. Even when I hit my 40s like a fucking alcoholic with a bottle full of malt liquor, but I couldn't bottle this shit any longer. The fact that I know that I'ma hit my bottom if I don't pull myself from the jaws of defeat and rise to my feet. I don't see why y'all even started with me. I get in peace, my enemies die. I don't cease fire till at least all of the seats. I'm east side, never be caught slipping. Now you see why I don't sleep, not even a wink. I don't blink, I don't doze off, I don't even nod to the beats. I don't even close my fucking eyes when I sneeze.
Okay.
There's something I noticed to remind me.
Okay. We're at 3:59. I have to remember that.
Just remind me that I noticed something.
So what, towards the end?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got past here. We left off the evil spell. Okay. So he does like an evil spell, MUVIL, and then just seemingly, it's like out of nowhere, he says, jam a pressed white strip in the tip of my dick.
Those things are so sharp and plasticky.
Yes.
Well, when it's
Within-
still on the plastic. When you take it off, it's not too bad.
Yes. With an ice pick, stick it in a vice grip, hang it on a spike fence, bang it with a pipe wrench. Okay, so I haven't even mentioned, but like his rhyming is crazy throughout this whole song. He's doing a
Yeah.
really cool thing with the white strip, my dick, ice pick,
It's
vice
so
grip.
cool.
Yeah, it's like crazy. So bang it with a pipe wrench while I take my ball sack and flick it like a light switch, like Vice President Mike Pence. Back up on my shit in a sidekick as I lay it on a spike strip. These are things that I'd rather do than hear you on a mic. So he's randomly just mentioning all of these things, and then you're like, what the fuck's he talking about?
Yeah.
And then
That's so funny.
yeah. And then he says, since 9/10 of your rhymes is all about ice and Jesus Christ, man, how many times is someone gonna fuck on my side bitch? And then he
Fuck on
says,
my bitch.
fuck on my bitch, sorry. And then he says, fuck my side chick in the end, and as an ad lib. So he's talking about how rappers are just talking about their jewelry and shit,
Yeah.
ice, and then, oh yeah, they're gonna fuck my girl. And I love that line. It makes me laugh.
It's
Like
funny.
I know it's coming and it still makes me like giggle. And then on that scheme, he says, you won't ever see MIC, but as cold as I get on the MIC, I polarize shit so the Thames might freeze.
Interesting. I never actually saw him wear like jewelry
No. And
except for like a watch, like in the photo.
and you don't really hear him bragging about like his money in general. He'll mention it sometimes that he's rich, but like yeah, not jewelry.
And
So
then the Thames, it's the river in
England,
France?
England,
England?
I think so.
Somewhere.
He's somewhere, UK,
European. UK.
I think.
Somewhere over there.
So yeah, so he does. Obviously, you'll never see MIC, meaning jewelry. But then the next, when I get on the MIC, so it sounds the same. And then I polarize shit. So polarizing meaning like
Yeah.
people
like,
have different opinions, but polar eyes, like
It's like
polar, like
cold.
yes. And then the Thames, I believe the Thames doesn't really freeze. That's like the other point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Um, and then he says, the Thames might freeze, and your skull might split like I bashed you upside it. Bitch, I got the club on smash like a nightstick. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hear the beat change a little bit. He says, turn down for what? I ain't loud enough. Nah, turn the volume up because I don't know how I'm going to get your mouths to shut. Now, when it doesn't matter what caliber I spit at, I'll bet 100,000 bucks you'll turn around and just be like, man, how the fuck Sourpuss gonna get mad just because his album sucks and now he wants to take it out on us? So this is just very funny scheme.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna get your mouths to shut because it doesn't matter how good I am. So he does a little tiny caliber bucks. They're like ammo, both of them, caliber,
Yeah.
Um, and then he's anticipating people saying like what they're gonna respond to like this song and this album. They're like, oh man, he's just dissing us because his last album sucked. You know what I mean? Which is very funny. Oh, and he's doing the ooh ad lib, which was like Young M.A.'s thing.
And turn the volume up, like volume, volume.
Yeah, it's a play on that, which he does a lot. Then he says, but last week an ex-fan mailed me a copy of the Mathers LP to tell me to study. It'll help me get back to myself and she'll love me. And then he does the ooh again. And then he says, I mailed the bitch back and said if I did that, I'd just be like everyone else in the fucking industry, especially an effing recovery clone of me. And then you hear him say NFing. So I don't know if you're familiar. There's a artist, a rapper called NF, and he raps. A lot of people equate it to Eminem's, specifically like his recovery era from the album and like that, like getting clean, like that type of content, like Not Afraid.
Interesting.
He's pretty popular on YouTube. Like a lot of people
I never heard of
they'll do
him.
reactions and stuff to him. I'm not familiar with most of his stuff, honestly. I've heard some of it. But so he tells this girl that, he's going to be like everybody else if he just goes back to his old stuff. And then he says, especially an effing recovery clone of me. So he's playing on an effing, meaning like a fucking, but then NF is his actual name, which is cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
So then he says, so Finger Bang, Chicken Wang, MGK, Iggy Zay, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, imitate Lil Wayne. I should name it everybody in the game. Pick a name. So he's talking about different people that he's had problems with. MGK,
But
which,
not Lil Wayne. He's saying they imitate Lil Wayne.
yes, Little Pump and Lil Xan imitate Little Wayne, yes. And then he says he should name it everybody. Then he says, I'm fed up with being humble. And rumor is I'm hungry. I'm sure you heard rumblings. I heard you want to rumble like an empty stomach. I heard you're mumbling, but it's jumbled in mumbo jumbo. So this I like this too, where he says, "I'm fed up with being humble," right? And then he does the rumors, "I'm hungry," and then he says, "I heard you heard rumblings, like an empty stomach." You know what I mean? So he does the rumble, empty stomach, and
Yeah, like he's
then
here to fight. And you're also hungry.
yes, and you're mumbling, but it's jumbled and mumbo jumbo. That's a shot at the mumble rappers,
Yeah.
right? Where you can't make out what they're saying. Then he says, "The era that I'm from will pummel you. That's what it's coming to. What the fuck you gonna do when you run into it? I'm gonna crumble you, and I'll take a number two and dump on you."
Ew.
So the number two is a pencil, though, a number two pencil. So he's doing a play
Like,
on, I'll
okay.
take a number
Like his
two and
raps.
dump on you, right? So
Get
it sounds like he's saying the same point over, which he kind of is, but the number two also means number two pencil.
it. Yes.
And then he says, and dump on you. If you ain't Joyner, if you ain't Kendrick or Cole or Sean, then you're a goner. So Joyner Lucas, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Big Sean, all people who Eminem are newer than him, but he, I guess, respects. You know what I mean? And then he says, I'm about to bring it to anyone in this bitch who won it. I guess when you walk into BK, you expect a Whopper.
Ooh.
So it's a play on a Whopper, they're saying like, oh, that's a Whopper, right? But like Burger King is literally,
Yeah.
get the Whopper.
Home of the Whopper.
And then he says, you can order a quarter pounder when you go to McDonald's.
Go do that.
But if you're looking to get a porterhouse, you better go get Revival. But y'all are acting like I tried to serve you up a slider. So it's interesting.
So
So
he's saying like my album was great. You're acting like it wasn't, but I know it was.
exactly, which is cool. I appreciate that he does that. I hate when that's the one thing I really don't like about Eminem is when certain people don't like certain albums and he's like, oh yeah, you got, that's not my greatest. Which I mean, maybe he really does feel that way, but fuck them. You know what I mean? I like that. He's like, fuck you. This is good shit. You know what I mean?
This is good.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that when I was in school and I get a bad grade.
Yeah.
Like, you're out of your mind. This is the best essay you've ever read in your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, no.
All right. And then he says, maybe the vocals should have been auto-tuned and you would have bought it, but saying I no longer got it because you missed it, but saying I no longer got it because you missed a line and never caught it, because it went over your head, because you're too stupid to get it, because you're mentally retarded, but pretend to be the smartest with your expertise and knowledge, but you'll never be an artist. So
Interesting.
more on Revival. He's saying, oh, if I auto-tuned it, maybe you guys would have actually liked it.
Yeah, and he's saying you didn't like it because all of those raps went over your head, so you're an idiot, and you couldn't like it because you couldn't understand it.
Yes. And then you're not an artist, so, it's mostly people who aren't in the game that are shitting on him, And then he says, and I'm harder on myself than you could ever be regardless. What I'll never be is flawless. All I'll ever be is honest. Even when I'm gone, they're going to say I brought it. Even when I hit my 40s like a fucking alcoholic.
Oh, keep reading.
With a bottle full of malt liquor.
I get it. I know what that's about.
What?
Drug ballad.
What? So what are you going to say?
The end of drug ballad.
By the time Haley will be on
I'm 40, drinking 40.
With the two grandkids on my lap telling stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's saying he's in the 40s with a bottle full of malt liquor. 40 is malt liquor.
So the funny thing is he was in his 40s at this point. You know what I mean?
No, but it's like a tie. It's like
I know
back to drug ballad.
Yeah, no. I agree. I'm saying the funny part is that even when I hit my 40s like a fucking alcoholic. So he's trying to do a play on, hitting the 40s, but also like he's his when he's 40 years old. You know what I mean? In that decade.
Yeah.
But my point is when he wrote this line, he was already in his 40s.
Yeah, but that's because he was 40 and he was talking about being 40 in drug ballad.
No, I get that. But he says even when I hit my 40s, implying that he hasn't hit his 40s yet, but he has.
I get that. But he had to say that to tie it in.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm just I get what you're right. It is like a reference to drug ballad. It's just that
it has to be because he wouldn't have said that. Exactly. That's my point.
And it's a play on obviously like 40 ounce of malt liquor. Yeah, so he's just saying, I'm never going to be perfect, but I'm always going to say what I feel, and people are going to know that I'm good. You know what I mean? I brought it. Then he says, with a bottle full of malt liquor, but I couldn't bottle this shit any longer. The fact that I know that I'm going to hit my bottom if I don't pull myself from the jaws of defeat and rise to my feet. I don't see why you all even started with me. I get in beefs, my enemies die. So he's saying, I got to get my shit together, right? And then he does the cool from the jaws of defeat and rise to my feet, kind of sounds the same there. And then he says, when he gets in beefs, my enemies die. I don't cease fire till at least all are deceased. I'm east side, never be caught slipping. Now you see why. I don't sleep, not even a wink. I don't blink. I don't doze off. I don't even nod to the beats. I don't even close my fucking eyes when I sneeze.
That's possible.
I love this little scheme that he does there. So he's going after his enemies, and then he does this whole thing about I don't sleep, not even a wink. So wink, which is like a wink of sleep, but also, literally like the wink. And I don't blink, I don't doze off, I don't even nod to the beats. I love that. And he doesn't close his eyes when he sneezes, which, like you said, is not possible.
Yeah, I don't know why, but you just can't do it.
Yes. All right, we're gonna let the rest play out here. We'll finish this up now.
I don't cease fire till at least all of the seats. I'm east side, never be caught slipping. Now you see why I don't sleep, not even a wink. I don't blink, I don't doze off, I don't even nod to the beats. I don't even close my fucking eyes when I sneeze. Oh man, the BET cipher was weak, it was garbage. The thing ain't even orange, oh my god, that's a reach. Shout to all my colorblind people, each and every one of y'all. If you call a fire engine green, aquamarine, or you think water is pink, dog, that's a date, looks like an olive to me. Look, there's an apple, no it's not, it's a peach. So finger bang, pootie tang, Burger King, Gucci gang, Biggie dang, Charlemagne. Gonna hate anyway, doesn't matter what I say. Give me donkey of the day, wanna wait for 2018 to get underway. But I'm gonna say everything that I wanna say. Welcome to the slaughterhouse, bitch. Yeah, invite invite him in like I want a day. I'm not done, cause I feel like the beast of burden. That line in the sand, was it even worth it? Cause the way I see people turning's making it seem worthless. It's starting to defeat the purpose. I'm watching my fan base shrink to thirds, and I was just trying to do the right thing. But word has the court of public opinion reached a verdict. But still yet to be determined, cause I'm determined to be me. Critique the worship, but if I could go back, I'd at least reword it and say I empathize with the people this evil serpent sold a dream to that he's deserted. But I think it's working, these verses are making him a wee bit nervous, and he's too scared to answer me with words, cause he knows that he will lyrically get murdered. But I know at least he's heard it, cause Agent Orange just sent the Secret Service to meet in person to see if I really think of hurting him, or ask if I'm linked to terrorists. I said only when it comes to ink and lyricists, but my beef is more media journalists. Hold up. I said my beef is more media journalists can get a mouthful of flesh. And yes, I mean eating a penis, cause they've been panning my album to death. So I've been giving the media fingers. Don't wanna turn this to a counseling session, but they've been putting me through the ringer. So I ain't ironing shit out with the press, but I just took this beat to the cleaners.
That was really good.
I know.
That was a good way to start
The album, right?
his album. Yeah, I'd say so.
So we just got a little bit more to go through here. So, okay, close my eyes when I see that's where we left off. So then he starts off, he's imitating people that were critiquing him, specifically the BET Cypher. Says, oh man, that BET Cypher was weak. It was garbage. The Thing ain't even orange. Oh my God, that's a reach. So he did a scheme with the Fantastic Four and the Thing from Fantastic Four and equating it to Trump. He said something like the only thing he's fantastic for is being a racist, something like that. But people were saying the Thing's not really even orange, he's yellow. I think that was Charlemagne, I believe. So he's making fun of the people making fun of him. And then he says, shout to all my colorblind people, each and every one of y'all. If you call a fire engine green, aquamarine, or if you think water is pink.
That would be really cool.
Yes. And then, dog, that's a date. Looks like an olive to me. Look, there's an apple. No, it's not. It's a peach. So him saying one thing, other people being like, no, it's like
Yeah,
that.
because they can't see or they're just ridiculous.
So then this part, so he says, so finger bang, pootie tang, Burger King, Gucci gang, Dookie dang.
He's named so many fast food restaurants in this song.
So I forgot to point out he did a thing like this earlier, where he did that MGK, Little Pump, Little Wayne, that whole scheme. He's rhyming in the flow of the Gucci gang, the Little Pump Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's just like throwing in dumb words just to make it sound good, or he's
No,
sponsored by Burger King and McDonald's, and I'm like really hungry, and it worked.
So he did the Burger King because he did the Whopper before. The Gucci gang is the flow, and he says, but the Pootie Tang. So I don't know if you ever saw the movie Pootie Tang.
No,
So it's with Chris Rock. Louis C.K. actually wrote it
I
too.
know
And
it's really old.
yeah, it like bombed.
Yeah.
But in the movie, he like raps, but he doesn't like say anything. It's like silent. Do you know what I mean? And people love it. It's like a weird thing. Like there's no like music or words, and people are like, oh my God, this is the greatest stuff I ever heard. That's like the joke in the movie. So by Eminem mentioning it, he's like, oh, you people aren't saying anything in your raps. Do you know what I mean?
Got it.
Yes. And then Dookie Dang saying like, oh, it's Dookie, it's shit. And then he says, Charlemagne gonna hate anyway. Doesn't matter what I say. Give me donkey of the day. What a way for 2018 to get underway. So I don't know if you're familiar with Charlemagne. He has a
I think
segment.
you've played it for me once or twice, where it's like kind of like saying like asshole of the day.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. He calls it the donkey of the day. And then he'll do somebody else for, whatever it is.
Charlemagne must have been so upset.
So he gave Eminem donkey of the day. You know what I mean? I actually do believe Charlemagne responded to this and like kind of liked it, thought how he incorporated him was like clever. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like fuck you. You know what I mean? Then what a way for 2018 to get underway. So this gives you a timestamp of when this happened. He says, "But I'm gonna say everything that I want to say. Welcome to the slaughterhouse, bitch. Invite him in like a one a day."
Like a vitamin.
So that's the line. I don't know if you remember. I played that for you like a while ago. I was like, yo, check out this bar I just caught because I heard the song so many times. I never caught it.
But
So yes, invite them in like a one a day. But
yeah,
the
like
way
a
he says it
vitamin.
sounds like vitamin. And then the one a day men's or women's, whatever it is.
Men's and women.
Yeah, they make both of them. I
They
love
make
that
all
line.
of them. They make kids too.
I knew this song for like, I would say 2 years before I even picked up on the vitamin. I never just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it was easy for me to think of because you take the one a day.
I
So they're
do.
literally in the cabinet and I see them every morning when I take my other brand vitamins. So it was
Yeah,
just like always fresh in my head, I guess.
that's funny. And then he says, I'm not done. Then you hear preach because I feel like the beast of burden, that line in the sand, was it even worth it? Okay, so real quick. The beast of burden is another name for a donkey or a mule that goes by the beast of burden because they carry everything, right?
I never heard that.
So that goes back to the donkey of the day line.
Oh, okay.
But then, so when he says he feels like the beast of burden, it means like he's the one that's carrying, all this, all the weight from like saying the things he has to say, you know what
For
I mean? And
sure.
the critiques, all that. And then the line in the sand was even worth it. I don't know if you remember in that same BET cipher, Eminem was like, if you're a fan of me and Donald Trump, you have to pick. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, he's,
That was a little awkward.
yeah, it was. So he's referring to that. And he says that line in the sand was even worth it because
Probably not.
the way I see people turnings, making it seem worthless, it's starting to defeat the purpose. I'm watching my fan base shrink to thirds, and I was just trying to do the right thing. But word, has the court of public opinion reached a verdict, or still yet to be determined? Because I'm determined to be me, critiqued or worshipped.
Well, when you make a
Um,
statement like that, if he does have fans who support Donald Trump, and even if you don't support Donald Trump, it's kind of like,
Sorry.
why are you doing that?
Well, so like he says, he thought he was doing the right thing. You know what I mean?
How's that
But
the right thing?
well, because he felt Donald Trump was this crazy racist, unique threat. You know what I mean? And like, you can't support both of us. But as you see, he does a slight backpedal and changes it from being about the people that support Trump, but to putting it back on Trump himself. So yeah, he's saying because I'm determined to be me, critiqued or worshipped. So whether people worship him or they're critiquing him, he's still going to do him. He's not going to let that affect him. So then he says, but if I could go back, I'd at least reword it and say I empathize with the people this evil serpent sold the dream to that he's deserted. So that's the little pivot he does. He said I would reword it. I would say I empathize with his supporters and he sold a dream and he deserted them. Smart,
Yeah,
because he's not changing his view on Trump per se, you know what I mean?
no,
But he is changing, his stance on the people that support both of them.
yeah,
And then he says, but I think it's working. These verses are making him a wee bit nervous, and he's too scared to answer me with words because he knows that he will lyrically get murdered. So obviously, lyrically get murdered. He's doing a play on that. Then he says, but I know at least he's heard it because Agent Orange just sent the Secret Service to meet in person to see if I really think of hurting him. Apparently, this is a true story.
yeah. I think you told me that.
Yeah, that they did come check him out, be like, oh, you're threatening him.
And to be honest, I don't think Trump sent them. It's like this.
That's
It's like the
standard.
Secret Service's responsibility, the CSI's responsibility, CSI, the CIA's responsibility to investigate everything. They don't need to run it by the president.
Yeah, because it was weird that, I mean, Eminem's like one of the few people Trump didn't respond to. Trump responded to like much smaller, insignificant people than Eminem. You know what I mean? He responded to everybody. He was so
He must
petty.
have known that it would
Bother him?
bother
It sounds like it.
because
Um,
he's not a stupid man. People think he is, but he
nah.
wouldn't have gotten to where he is and become the president if he were stupid.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He's not stupid though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing for sure. I think people misconstrue being an asshole for being a racist. He says some really stupid fucking things that he shouldn't say, but I have never once actually heard him be outwardly racist towards anyone.
Yeah.
I just
So,
haven't. I'm calling it like it is.
yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, ask if I'm thinking of hurting him or if I'm linked to terrorists. I said only when it comes to ink and lyricists. So he's not linked to terrorists, but only in ink. So he's a lyrical terrorist, he's saying. Then he says, but my beef is more media, journalists. And he says, hold up, hold up.
That I
I,
can
s-
understand because they like crucify him sometimes.
yes. And then he said, I said, my beef is more meaty, a journalist. So yeah, it's literally the same thing. He's
And he's
continuing the
explaining
scheme.
his raps again like
Yes.
he used to.
Well, yeah, because he mentioned how it went over people's heads, right? And then this starts bothering people. A lot of people get annoyed that he
I
points
get
out the
annoyed, but
bars.
I would have missed the media journalists
Yeah.
one, so that was thank you for that.
Yes.
But the other ones I got them, so no thank you.
Yes. Then he says, My beef is more meaty. A journalist can get a mouthful of flesh. And yes, I mean eating a penis, because they've been panning my album to death. So I've been giving the media fingers. So again, the media, like meteor, like meaty finger, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then giving them media fingers. Then
and
he's,
also like having them eat fingers. Like also
yes,
giving them the middle finger. Like that's triple
yes.
entendre. If you think about it.
And then he says, don't want to turn this to a counseling sesh, but they've been putting me through the ringer. So I ain't ironing shit out with the press, but I just took this beat to the cleaners.
Nice.
I
Like
love,
a press is what you use to like iron things out. Like an ironing board, or you call it an ironing press, whatever you want to call it.
yes, and then cleaners, took this beat to the
Yeah.
cleaners. And then, yeah, they've been putting me through the ringer. So,
A wringer is something that wrings out water. Like that's a laundry thing too.
yeah, it is for sure. And yeah, I love the way he ends that. I just took this beat to the cleaners.
Yeah, there's no reference to the movie The Ringer. I think he just called it The Ringer. He must have just read through his rap and was like, what do I call it? And then he just picked The Ringer.
Yeah,
That's the vibe I get,
yeah,
which is cool.
for sure. All right, so the ringer.
It's really good. Um, it's, he's just taking shots at everyone here and everyone he has a problem with or who has a problem with him, which is cool. And then I think it's kind of funny how he was like, oh yeah, like I realized that like my performance on BET was very polarizing and like turned off a lot of my fans, especially ones who support Trump. So he's kind of like apologizing for that, but then also going at Trump again,
Well, again,
which is
because
kind of funny.
because the difference between the BET cipher and like all of the stuff on Revival is on Revival he was going after Trump.
Yeah.
On the BET cipher he was going after Trump supporters.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
right. Yeah, you're right.
That's the big
That
difference.
is the big difference.
Yeah.
Still
So
funny though.
it is. It is. It's funny. Yeah, I love this song. It's incredible start to the album. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'd say so. It's a good song.
Surprise album. I remember that morning where I saw that it came out and I was like, what? And I was listening to it on my way to work. It's so good. This beat's incredible.
Yeah.
The rhyme scheme's crazy. He does like there's a lot of cool stuff in here. And
Yeah.
you see this is 41 minutes. This is longer than the the reactions we've been doing. It's because it gets
Yeah, it's
from
complicated.
this point out, it's just on the albums at least, it's just complex shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really great.
It's,
And definitely check out Manscaped, Chomp, SeatGeek, Carnivore Snacks, Amazon storefront. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
see, bye.
Bye.